2009 was a year full of childhood nightmare fuel, with films like Coraline. But that wasn't the only movie that came out that year that scared children. The other one was named 9, and I never got to watch it as a kid, so here I am, trying to figure out what the heck this movie 9 is all about. Now, just so we're on the same page, 9 shouldn't be confused with 9, a Rob Marshall musical movie released in the same year with the same title. I have no idea why there were so many movies that were named after this particular number in the year of 2009, but whatever. We're talking about this one. I'm glad I could clear that up for everyone. Anyways, 9 is about these ragdoll robot things, whatever you want to call them. I'm gonna refer to them as ragdolls. If that's wrong, then sorry. It's about them exploring this dystopian land. We don't know how or why the world is like that. It's just like that. The first ragdoll we meet is 9. He's just as confused as the rest of us. He doesn't know where he is or why he's there. He's just kind of there. So he does what anyone would do in this situation. Go out exploring into the unknown. And while he's exploring, we learn that there's a lot of stuff that went down because it looks like a freaking war zone. The best way that I can describe this aesthetic is a dystopian version of Sid's room from Toy Story. Honestly, I'm kind of here for it. As 9 is gallivanting around, we meet another ragdoll too. He's older and wiser, a inventor of sorts. Finally, with the help of 2, we can get some answers, right? The answer to that is no. We can't. He immediately gets captured by a robot wolf creature thing that takes him to this factory place. So 9 is left all alone to traverse this war zone all by himself until he passes out 2 seconds later, where he's rescued by 5, who is literally afraid of everything. So I'm not quite sure why he went on this rescue mission if he's a fraidy cat, but like whatever. 5 saves 9. And this prompts a new character to come into the story, and that is 1. He's old and he's cranky, and he's voiced by Christopher Plummer, who is the voice of Charles Muntz in Up. That was released in 2009 as well. Also, while I was looking that up, I realized that he was in The Sound of Music, and I feel like I should have figured that out sooner, but what can you do? Out of all the ragdolls, he is my favorite. And although he can be a cranky man with a rigid outlook, 1 is a really good example of showcasing how fear can paralyze someone. He thinks that the best course of action is just to do nothing. And from this description, 1 isn't really the biggest fan of 9 because he has this crazy idea that he's gonna go and rescue 2. And 1 also isn't the biggest fan of 2. I know, this guy is a big jerk. Despite saying that, he does give us some insight into what happened in the past, and it seems like the robots have betrayed mankind and destroyed all living things. This is why I don't trust technology, and this is also why I don't see WALL-E as a happy ending. But that's another topic altogether. So 9 and 5 go out to go look for 2 in this big giant factory thing. And lucky for them, they have a map that they immediately lose. Because the plot needs to move forward, they make it to their destination safely and they find 2. He's doing well as you can do in a dystopian world, so there's that. And now that we have 2 again, we can finally get some answers, right? No. The answer's no. It's always no. Because 9's curiosity gets the best of him, and he touches this doodad that immediately sucks the soul out of 2. And if I watched this back in the day, I know that I would not have slept for maybe weeks or months on end. Not only does 9's intrigue cause the passing of their dear friend, it also awakens a evil robot that wants to eliminate all of the ragdolls. I guess that saying is true. Curiosity did indeed kill the cat. Now, despite this rescue mission gone wrong, 9 and 5 meet a new person, and that's 7. But with the loss of 2, 5, 7, and 9 go out looking for answers. And the biggest question they have to answer is what the heck this doodad is that just sucked the life from their friend. And I gotta say, that's probably the question that I would have too, because I'm still processing what the heck just happened. After looking through some old papers and stuff, they realize that the person who has all of the answers is 6. And 6 is kind of like an oddball. The problem here is, to meet up with 6, they're gonna have to go back and hang out with 1. And you know what? I'm happy because my favorite character's back. And just like when he was introduced, he's still a big jerk. And I think a lot of it stems from him knowing too much and probably being paranoid because of it. I don't know, he never really explains himself. But now, with the help of 6 and his scribbles, we learn a little more about this doodad. And it so happens to be the key to everything. But 9 doesn't have the time to question 6 anymore because the evil robot's minion has come to attack all of them. Listen, if you think the soul sucking was spooky, this thing is freaking terrifying. It's 3 of the creepiest things: dolls, spiders, and centipedes smooshed together in one. At the same time though, every time I look at it, it reminds me of the baby spider thing from Toy Story. And it makes me think that Sid probably ended up becoming an artist making a project or something like this. This creepy doll spider centipede thing uses 2's lifeless body to lure the other rag dolls over and then stuns them and then puts them in a cocoon. As a kid, I thought the Bell Dam was scary. This is on a whole new level. This creature of sorts kidnaps 8 and 7 and brings them back to their master, who can suck the souls out of them. The rest of the rag dolls are like, whoa, we gotta go and save them. As I'm saying that, I'm realized that this movie is just a bunch of rescue missions smushed into one. Unfortunately, before the gang can get there, 8 gets his soul sucked. And I know I didn't mention this guy until now, and he was kind of just there, but he was my favorite ragdoll, named after the number 8. He will be sorely missed. Before 7 gets her soul sucked, 9 comes in and saves the day. But the big bad robot doesn't like that, and he calls upon his minions of robot spiders to go attack them. Again, why spiders? Like why? Like you could have like puppies, you could have unicorns, you could have literally a bag of ravenous robot wolves, and I would be fine with that. But spiders, like why? Like why? I don't like it. Before the robot spiders can get to 9 and 7, 1 and 5 are like, hey, we got you. They throw this flaming barrel of gasoline at them, and it explodes the factory into smithereens. The factory is destroyed, and it's looking up for these ragdolls. We may not have any answers as to why there's ragdoll people in the first place, but you know what? Who cares? And it's time to take a little breather and listen to Judy Garland's rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I'm not complaining, because it's a great song, and The Wizard of Oz is a great movie. And it looks like things are adding up for our band of numeric heroes. Ugh. Yeah, that didn't really last that long. And it's about to get worse, because 5 gets his soul sucked, and the rest of the ragdolls have to make a stance against the big evil robot. The only one that's not fighting is 6, because he believes that the souls are trapped inside of the robot, and 1 and 7 think he's like crazy, and they're like, what are you talking about? That's just like a giant robot that's trying to attack us. But 9, being the one that likes to question literally everything, is like, whoa, maybe he has a point. 6's final words before getting finished off by the big bad robot. He tells 9 to go back to the room where he awoke. And because 9 is full of intrigue and curiosity, and he needs to know all of these answers, and I need to know all these answers, he goes back to where it all started. And I guess at the beginning, 9 didn't roll a high enough perception check, because there in the middle of the room is a box with all the answers. And inside is a message from the scientist who created all the ragdolls. And the reason that they all exist is because he split his soul, Horcrux style, 9 different ways to give these little ragdolls life. And if you're asking me how the heck did he even do this, or how does he even have this technology if the setting is based around World War II, I have no idea. All I know is that the scientist is kind of like Oppenheimer, where he feels like he's responsible for destroying the human race, because he's the one that created the evil robot in the first place. And the little ragdolls were his last hope at saving humanity. With this newfound information, Nine learns that the gadget that sucks souls is the key to stopping the big bad robot. So he needs to obtain it so he can free all the souls and destroy the big bad robot. And in doing so, he would have to sacrifice his own life. Throughout this whole video, one has been a big fat jerk. But when the team needs him most, he sacrifices himself. And I'm a little sad because, you know, he was my favorite. At least he got like a hero's redemption at the end, I guess. So Nine finally obtains the doodad thing, and he turns it against the big giant robot, and it destroys him. It makes me a little confused because we've just established that this was just a thing that like sucked people's souls, but now it's also a laser. So like, make up your mind? Anyways, the fight against the machines is finally over, and the other souls get released. I'm still kind of confused at how this whole like soul transfer thing works. We'll just gloss over that, and we end the movie with 3, 4, 7, and 9 having a brighter future as they live as the last ragdolls on Earth. So yeah, that's 9. Honestly, the whole time that I was watching this, I was like, this would be like kind of a cool concept for like a video game. And if I remember correctly, there was like a tie-in video game to this. And honestly, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But let's just pretend for a second this wasn't the case. This movie would have been a great concept for like an open world game. You could go and explore and then find like letters of like fallen humans from like back in the day or something. I don't know. I just feel like there's way more to explore in this universe, but maybe that's just me. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Do you have any memories of watching this movie, and did it terrify you as a child? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you are looking for another nightmare-fueled movie from 2009, then why don't you click on this video over here, all about Coraline. And I guess I'll see you when I see you next. All right, bye.